Fame Club Reads. I'm Courtney, and today joining me for a huge update. I haven't been on in a few weeks, but if you're new here, welcome. Thanks so much for stopping by. Check out the content on my channel to see if this is a place you'd like to subscribe to. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for post notifications, and check the Discord link, usually up in post, the community tab or whatever, to join our Discord that's getting pretty busy over there. I have been present there. So if you did not miss my last short, or if you missed my last short, I have been slightly MIA for no other reason but life. It is kind of the last month of summer, trying to get everything done for the kids as they get ready for school. I have a senior this year and a 7th grader. It's going to be a rough year. Like, just the amount of emotions that are coming up for my senior and just all of the hustle and bustle and just everybody's getting older. It's crazy. So that's been going on. Work has been super busy. We had a huge employee shift that took up quite a bit of time. It's just been busy in general. I've had all of these great ideas about videos that I wanted to do, and I just could not get the energy to do them. And I just think we should be authentic to ourselves. And if you're not feeling it, just take a break. Like, I don't make a whole bunch of money on this channel. Like, this isn't my only job. I can take a couple weeks off and it'll be okay. Like I said, I have been in the Discord though. I will put the link as the first comment, but I also post them on the post section. I don't know if they call it the community tab anymore, but that post section, I do post there as well. And we are all over there where you have lots of different chats, whether it's just a general chat, a chit chat, pictures of your pets, the book club if you're in the book club. So there's lots to do over there. Okay, so I have lots to catch up on because while I have not been filming, I have been reading, which is great. So I have almost hit my goal on Goodreads. So far, I am at 104 books of 120. This has been a bit of a slower year of reading, not gonna lie, but I'm okay with that. Like, I've been reading a lot of literary fiction, a lot of larger books, and just really enjoying my time. And like I said, I've been busy. Okay, so I think the last time we connected, I was talking about the book Women on the Verge by Kim Hooper. And this book was all about pretty much all of us, of a woman who is a stay-at-home mom, and she and her husband are kind of having some difficulties in their marriage, especially in the connection area. Her father gets sick, and so she has to start traveling, I think, like the Bay Area in California. And while she's there, things happen. We are also following another woman who is having an affair with a guy, but we're kind of seeing from that sort of affair couple. And then we have the last woman who is like a past woman reading sort of her diary entry. I ended up giving this book 3 stars. I thought it was pretty good. The twists and turns were great, but I thought it got a little long, as I usually feel. And I wish like the big ta-da at the end was a little bit bigger. Okay, then I read Mallory's Christmas Wish, and I gave this one 3 stars as well, and this is the lowest I'll give a Babysitter's Club book or a reread. So if you are new here, I am rereading the Babysitter's Club books in publication order, including the super specials, but not the mysteries. This book is book number 92, so I am more than a third through. Super excited to be, getting that far. I'm just gonna move that slightly. There we go. Okay, so this book follows Mallory, and her family wins a contest around Christmas time because they want to have a traditional Christmas, and so they're going to have sort of like a reality show, film them doing all of these Christmas things, and as suspected, it gets out of hand because they end up having to be more performative than they would like, and they just really want to enjoy Christmas. So that was 3 stars. Nothing major. The thing about the Mallory books is that I really dislike all of those kids. Like, they're just so rowdy, and it's like the mothering that Mallory has to do and the other babysitters of these kids is crazy. Like, you don't hear enough about the parents parenting. And I just don't think you need to have 8 kids if you're not about to parent them. There are some people that have 8 kids and everybody gets attention and it's very intentional and there's all great. I love that for you. But if you have 8 kids and you're not going to pay attention to half of them, Like, it's driving me kind of crazy. So that's a 3-star. All right, the next book that I completed, I did on audio, and it's a book called You Didn't Hear That From Me by Kelsey McKinney. This is actually a nonfiction book, and I don't really jump into nonfiction too much, but I heard it on another YouTuber's channel, and I was intrigued because this book is really all about gossip. And as much as we try to avoid it, we all are connected to gossip in some way. And this really goes through like the psychology of gossip and why we need it in our life, and why feeling validation from the gossip you give and the reaction that you get when you tell juicy gossip, and like how it all combines into like human nature. And it's told through a series of vignettes of sort of people sharing their gossip stories, whether they're celebrity stories or their own stories. The YouTuber that I saw was saying the beginning was really good, and then the end kind of fell off. I thought the whole thing was good. I gave this 5 stars. And I really love the idea of like the history behind gossip, right? Because it is something that has been around for eons, right? And we're talking about really storytelling. And so I thought that was really good. So I would suggest reading that book. It's called You Didn't Hear This From Me, mostly True Notes on Gossip by Kelsey McKinney. Okay, next up, I finished Love at First Sighting, which is our book club book for August. I don't want to say too much about that because it's our book club book, and some people haven't finished it, but I will say that I gave it 4 stars. I think this is one of the better books that we've had in our book club. August was our 3rd month, and so I really did like it. I will say this book involves an influencer, sort of an FBI agent, a possible UFO sighting. So super cute. I actually gave it 3.75 stars, but I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. Okay, then I listened to The Rewrite by Lizzie Damilola Blackburn. And this book, I just did not love it. I gave it 3 stars. So I actually bought this book on Kindle. I really do work to intentionally support authors of color, not just randomly, but like if the book is good, it's, you know, whatever, it has to be pique my interest, but I like to make sure that I'm giving an equal lens to all types of books, right? Diversity comes in many different ways. So I was excited to get this book, purchased it, whatever. Then I started reading it and I couldn't like catch what was going on. Like this book follows, let me see their names. Who are they? It follows a guy and a girl, of course. Let me see. Okay, it follows Wale and Timmy, and they are a couple. When we start with the book, they're not a couple, but we kind of go back and forth in timelines when they were a couple. Timmy is a struggling author, and Wale was sort of like, I would say, a bit of a scrub until he goes on something similar to a Love Island show and starts getting some popularity, gets some money, and he's trying to do some more things. One of the things he wants to do is write a book, and he hires a ghostwriter, and unbeknownst to both of them, I'm assuming, Timmy becomes his ghostwriter. So they are navigating their fresh breakup as well as his life story. And in their relationship, he was not very forthcoming about things in his life, not from his parents to his past relationships. And in this relationship, he's very shut off and just very distant, and she has no idea why. But going into understanding more about him, she realizes like why he is the way he is. This is a romance, so they do end up together, but the thing I didn't like about it is it was just long. Like, I feel like when your audiobook is long, you really messed up, because the audiobook is supposed to be enjoyable, you're in the characters, and it wasn't great. This one also had a female narrator or reader, and she did the male voice, which I don't like either. And then there, in particular, was parts in this story where the lead, the person who's the girl, was insufferable. She was in fact the problem. She lied. She did what was best for her. She put her needs in front of everybody else. And like, I was waiting for somebody to check her on it, and it never happened. But she often did a lot of squealing in the book, or a lot of just very onomatopoeia type words, and I couldn't take it. Now, granted, I did listen to it on 2 times speed, so things are higher pitched and they're faster, but like, I was going to lose my mind if she squealed one more time. Okay, then after that, So what did I say? I said I gave that 3 stars. Okay, then I went into Glorious Rivals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I really wish I hadn't, but I did. I wanted to read this book. It's the second book in the, it's not Inheritance Games anymore. I guess it's the Grandest Game, right? And so this is, now we have Avery from Inheritance Games and the brothers created this island treasure hunt to give people money. There was like 7 people on the island. Now there's 5 in the second book. And so every chapter is somebody else and their perspective. Now, what I really loved about the Inheritance Games was that it was fast-paced. There was something significant happening along the way. There were connections between Avery and the brothers, and there were loose ends. It was just masterful, right? These are not that. And I really think it's time for Jennifer Lynn Barnes to hang up these characters. They have done all they could do for her. It's a wrap. Like, there's nothing else to talk about. And I think that was the overall consensus when I looked at reviews on Goodreads, because sometimes when I'm going to score something low, I do look to see, like, am I tripping, or like, was everybody else on the same wavelength? And sometimes it's just a me thing that I didn't like. In this instance, lots of people felt the same. I gave this 2 stars because there's just no interesting new plot. The game at this point is super confusing. Like, we don't even know what we're playing for anymore. And I just didn't like it. I can't even really speak to all the things I didn't like about it. It just didn't hit. And like I said, I think it's just milking these characters that is really taking me out, because it doesn't need to be like ongoing like this. We could go ahead and wrap it up. After that, I needed something fast-paced, exciting, and I ended up reading The Surrogate by Freida McFadden. I actually read this in a day, so you know it was good. Now, this book actually was republished on Tuesday, but I have a copyright of 2018, so I think they just republished it. But this book was amazing. So this book was about Abby, who wants to have a baby. She is not able to have a baby, but her husband is. His everything's in order for him. And she was going to adopt a baby, right? There's like a teen mom who was pregnant, and she was in talks to adopt this baby. Everything was ready to go. The girl has the baby and then backs out of the deal of adopting. So she's crushed, obviously devastated. And then she has the idea of getting a surrogate. And so she kind of, well, the idea of getting a surrogate is given to her by her coworker, Monica, who is actually her assistant. And this woman is like, hey, I will be your surrogate. I really feel bad for you. And weirdly enough, Abby takes her up on it. Well, as they start on their surrogate journey, everything's fine and dandy, except Monica starts getting really close to Abby's husband, who is a really handsome professor at the university. And she's used to girls sort of having crushes on him and his students having crushes on him. But this is different because now it's a bit more intimate. They're going to doctor's appointments. There's a couple times that Monica has misscheduled the doctor's appointments on her calendar, that's not a mistake because Monica manages the calendar. And they have an agreement that when she starts showing at work, she will quit. And it just gets kind of crazy from there. It's a Freida McFadden book, so it's like, it's not what it seems. And I thought it unfolded beautifully. Sometimes the Freida McFadden books have not come together, like The Tenant didn't really come together for me, but this one did really come together. I highly, highly recommend it. And then the last book that I've read since You've Seen Me is Marianne and the This is book 93 in the Beatrice Club series. And I had mentioned before, like, anything past book 90 is going to be all pretty new to me, because at that point I would have been like 12 or 13 and probably was not reaching for these books. Or if I was getting from the library and what was ever available. But I do distinctly remember not liking Abby and not liking the idea of a new person coming in. So I don't remember any of these. But this one was a beautiful book. This book, beautiful but life lesson. This book follows Marianne's perspective. And she is working on a group project and is working with some new students that she hasn't worked with before. Everything's going really, really well. And then something happens to her classmates that, I'm not going to spoilers, because I mean, this came out in 95, so if you haven't read it, I'm sorry. So one of the girls in the group gets hit by a drunk driver, and it was her dad, her brother, and her in the car. Her brother and dad survived, and she did not. And so the whole town and the middle school is reeling with this. And Marianne obviously is taking it very hard, as they had just spoken minutes before the accident, and then they developed this memory garden. I thought it was a really good book. I think this one was appropriately told for the age range, and it just was not something that I had read before. It had some substance, so I was really excited about that. Okay, so those are the books that I have read so far. You're caught up. Let's talk about what I am reading this week. So I'm filming this on a Saturday so that it can go up on Sunday. I'm currently reading The School for Good Mothers. This book is by Jessamine Chan. This book, I'm just about 11 or 12% in, but I follow eDaily Books or eDaily Deals on Instagram, but I'm also part of her Patreon, and she has a book club. And this is the book that we voted for, which was great because it happened to be on sale for $1.99. And this book is all about a woman who is in a downward spiral. And we're trying to figure that out. Where I'm at, she has left her child at home unattended. The child has been taken away from her, and now she's being monitored and watched to see if she can get her child back. She seems to be quite a bit of a mess. She seems to have lots of issues with validation and needing validation from men. And I don't know that she's going to get her child back or if she needs her child back, but we will see. What else? I'm also reading A Ghostly Undertaking by Tanya Kappas, and I just barely started touching that one. I just wanted to have something light on the go. And then from there, I don't know yet what I will have. I have a Book of the Month Club book that I'm interested in getting to, but we'll see. I've kind of been in my Kindle vibe, not wanting to hold a book and doing lots of reading at night, especially in the middle of the night. And so that has led me to lots of Kindle reading as well. So I think that is everything to update you guys on. My goal is to give you guys a fall sort of TBR. I'm so excited. Fall is my favorite season. We're coming toward it. And then continue with my weekly updates and any other things that come along. But like I said, if you're new here, check out the content on my channel. I do reviews, e-reader unboxings and reviews, TBRs, wrap-ups, all of the good things. And I'd love to have you check it out. As always, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.